and welcome to Ashford and St Peter's Hypnobirthing videos. My name's Olivia and I'm one of the midwives at St Peter's Hospital. You may see me on labour ward or on the birth centre. We sort of work all around. Today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about hypnobirthing, about what it is and how you can use it. So hypnobirthing is hypnotherapy for birthing, and what it is just a mindfulness technique to help you cope through whatever sort of labour or birth you have, whether that's a caesarean section, a normal labour and birth, or an induction. Really you can use it across any of those scenarios, just to help you sort of be positive and to get through whatever does happen really. The worst part of hypnobirthing is the name. A lot of people make a lot of assumptions about hypnobirthing, that it's going to be some wacky thing where you aren't really aware of what's going on. A lot of people have these stage hypnotizers in mind, like the picture behind me, and it really isn't that at all. All it is training your mind to be able to go into a deep relaxation state to help you get through labour, whatever labour you might choose. And that's even if you have an epidural and you find yourself starting to worry about things. It's just to help you get back to that really relaxed state. You can practice hypnobirthing for general life skills as well. It's not necessarily something that needs to be used for labour and birth. So a lot of people find when they practice the mindfulness techniques, they then use them in their life to be able to go into that relaxed state again. So that's really all it is. The method of hypnobirthing that we teach at St Peter's is based on the Catherine Graves hypnobirthing techniques. So I would recommend, if you want to practice it, that you buy this hypnobirthing book, which we will send out some resources following you watching the course, to be able to purchase this book if you wish to. This book also will include all of the scripts that I'm going to go through in this series of videos. So many people find that hypnobirthing works differently on different people. Some people will listen to the scripts and they'll say, well, it didn't really work because I fell asleep during the scripts. But that's actually fine, because if you fall asleep, it's still going into your mind somehow, and you're obviously very relaxed, so it doesn't really matter. And it works on a subconscious level. So you've got your conscious mind, which is everything that you're thinking about in the here and now, and your subconscious mind, which goes on in the background. And hypnobirthing is very much working with both together to try and get you into a relaxed state. So your conscious mind sort of goes out the window a little bit, and your subconscious mind is sort of processing everything that's going on. So the main aim for hypnobirthing is to decrease fear and anxiety for birth, and to increase a positive birth experience. One of the first things that I'm going to talk to you about is how to use positive language in order to enhance your birth experience. So talking about the subconscious and the conscious mind, a lot of things will affect your subconscious mind without you even realising it. So a lot of language that we use to do with labour and birth causes your subconscious mind to think that you're in pain. The evidence for hypnobirthing actually does show that women that use hypnobirthing have been proven to have better experiences, less pain, and felt more positively about their birth. And one of the main things that we can do to enhance this is try and change the language that we use for labour and birth. For example, this quote that's behind me is one of the most sort of important things really. Words are of course the most powerful drug to mankind. And the use of negative language in terms of labour and birth dramatically affects women's perceptions of how their delivery was. So for example, if I ask you, have you got any aches and pains? You're going to think about what's hurting right now. So I've automatically given you an opportunity to think about what's wrong. Whereas if I ask you, are you completely comfortable? You're more likely to say yes, and I'm not prompting you to think about pain. And in the same way, the brain looks actively for pain if there's suggestion of pain given in the first place. So this is one of the most important things that you can begin to practice when you're talking about labour and birth, is that even if you're talking to a friend or family member, you can not talk about pain, and you can just talk about how you're going to try and make it more comfortable. Other examples of how we can do this, especially in maternity, I know we're all guilty of it and it's not something that we mean to do, but it's by saying things like, I'm only 2 centimetres dilated, or I'm not progressing. Your body's working really, really hard, and even if you are only 2 centimetres dilated, you're 2 centimetres dilated. So a really good thing to work on is seeing everything in a positive light, really. A way you can start to do this at home, and a way that I always suggest is a really good way to do this, is getting positive birth statements and affirmations and printing them around your house. Now, hypnobirthing is really something that works very differently for different people and in different ways. So if you're not really the sort of person that feels they're going to find this very helpful, you may not want to do this. But lots of people find that putting positive affirmations around their house really does help them with this. So I'm going to show you some of them now. So the next part of this video, I'm going to read you an example script for relaxation, and this just really will demonstrate how you can go into this relaxed state. So, close your eyes, make yourself comfortable, and relax. Breathe in and out deeply 3 times, saying to yourself on the out breaths, release, soften, comfort. Now just sit there for a moment as you let your whole body and mind become calm and relaxed. Continue to breathe slowly, deeply, and gently as you feel your body becoming soft, weightless, totally comfortable. Imagine yourself on a lovely warm summer's day, sitting under the shade of a lemon tree. Beside you is a table which has on it a board and a knife, an empty glass and a bottle of sparkling water, chilled in an ice bucket. The scent of lemons is all around you. Each time you breathe in, the pleasant scent of the lemons fills your nostrils. You decide to make yourself a cooling and refreshing drink, and you squeeze some fresh lemon into the sparkling water to quench your thirst. So you pick a lemon off the tree, and even as you do that, your body begins to respond to the knowledge that soon it will be tasting a refreshing lemon drink. You put the lemon on the board, cut it in half, and as you do that, lemon juice runs onto the board and onto your fingers, while the smell of lemon gets even more powerful in your nostrils. Now you bring your fingers up to your mouth to lick them, and as your fingers approach your mouth, and nose, the smell of lemon is very strong. And you start salivating even before your fingers enter your mouth. Now you lick your fingers and your whole mouth fills with saliva from the tang of the lemon juice as your tongue washes lemon flavour all around your mouth. As you sit relaxed with your mind in that garden, with saliva filling your mouth at the taste of lemon juice, you realise that this is happening to you right now, in this very moment, as you understand that your mind produces sensations that your body acts upon. And now you come back to this room with the memory and knowledge of how the mind and body act together so powerfully, and the knowledge that this mind-body relationship is an effective tool for you to use when you give birth to your baby. And now open your eyes and let the taste ebb away. So that was just the first taste of a relaxation script. Lots of people will find that they've got different things out of it. Some people would have tasted the lemon, some people would have had saliva in their mouth. Other people would have just sat there thinking about other things that are going on elsewhere. They need to put a wash on or clean the house. And that's very normal with hypnobirthing, but the trick is to practice it as much as you possibly can. But that's just a little example of one of the relaxation scripts used in the hypnobirthing book. And what I'd recommend is that you do read the hypnobirthing book if you can, and try and practice some of the scripts. So hypnobirthing works best when you practice it over and over and over again. So you'll find the most benefit if you practice it as early on in pregnancy as possible, and then you really build up those relaxation techniques and skills for relaxation for your labour. So the last thing in this video that we're going to go through is a little bit of physiology about labour and birth. I'm going to show you the muscles of the uterus and what it looks like to carry a baby, in order to try and just release some of that fear really, and just become a bit familiar about what's going to be happening to your body in your labour. So firstly I have this picture, and this is what it looks like when you've got a baby inside. So in your tummy, in your uterus, you've got the baby here, and then you've got the cervix at the bottom. So when the cervix is like a long tube which holds your baby inside the womb, and when you go into labour, your cervix starts to open and dilate, and that's what causes contractions. And then the more contractions you have, the more your cervix dilates, until it's 10 centimetres dilated and baby can come out then. So that's that one. And then during labour, the muscles of your uterus are working really hard. So you've got an outer layer of muscles which comes downwards like this, a middle layer which go across like that, and the bottom layer. And what your body's doing in labour is that when you have the contractions or surges, your muscles that go downwards are squeezing down, and the muscles at the bottom that go across are pulling outwards, and that's really just your body working together. So labour really is like a marathon, and we'll go through some stuff later about what to do to fuel your body during labour. So following this video, what you can do is you can make some positive statements for labour and birth. You can buy the Hypnobirthing book. The Catherine Graves Hypnobirthing scripts are also available on Apple Music to purchase, or the Catherine Graves website. So they can be really helpful. Quite often a lot of people find that a family member or their partner reading the scripts to them will make them laugh too much or just isn't really for them. So you can actually buy the scripts being read to you on the Catherine Graves website, and just start practicing some of the relaxation scripts.